Thank you very much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Obrempong Ejapon, the royal entertainer, the royal servant. And we are here to serve, as I believe the reason why we are here is just to serve mankind. So without much ado, would like to call a very wonderful gentleman, my brother, to communicate to the creator himself, who also created mankind, so that he can take charge of the program. So please, round of applause for Kabute, my MC, for me. Please show him some love. Show him some love.
Thank you. Can we please bow our heads and share a prayer? God is good. God is good, and all the time. And it is for one such good God reason that we have come here. And so we trust and know and believe that our Lord and our God is here with us. And He will prosper this launch and prosper the intention of the organizers of Zero Hunger. And that He will add His grace so that its effects, its benefits would exceed beyond and above that which was planned and conceived. That at the end of it all, we will remember to give praise and thanks to His holy name. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And at this moment, I'd like to call Norbert to give us the purpose of gathering. Then we'll know a few details of why we are here.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Norbert Datson, and I'm very pleased to be here for the official launch of Zero Hunger Ghana. As today marks World Food Day, there wouldn't have been a better day to officially launch this inspiring initiative. For over a year now, Zero Hunger Ghana has done amazingly by distributing food to the needy in deprived areas. The purpose of this gathering is to officially launch and give more insights on the missions of Zero Hunger Ghana, and I hope at the end of this occasion, we will all support this initiative. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to call Chef Elijah Amo-Ado. Please put your hand together for me. Please have to take a seat here. And if you don't know this man, the little I know about him, I remember one day I was sleeping, I woke up and there was a man on TV being interviewed. And I know there's a man who prepared wache for the queen. It's the wache, right? This man prepared wache for the queen, in which way makes the story better. He's been in England to do food for the queen, and he has been also honored by the queen. So this is Queen Chef. So when you see him, you can also show him some love. So that's such a powerful man we have here. We also have Renee Opare Otu, a dietitian. Please, round of applause for her for me. Renee, if you're here. And I also thank you very much for coming. And I also have Vicentia Asante, the Community Development Officer of the organization. Please, round of applause for her for us. And then the last but not the least, I'd like to call DJ Nelson herself. That's Debra-Jane, the founder of the organization. Please, round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we are going to have them say one or two things. If you look at where they'll be coming from, a dietitian, a chef, and a community development officer, and the founder. It's really according to, according for, and according by. She chooses what you have to cook. He cooks it, and also will locate where the food has to go. And then she manages the whole affair. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, first of all, we'll let the dietitian, beautiful Renee Opare, to clear the way for us.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. So, as we all know, the reason why we are here to launch Zero Hunger Ghana. So, I'll talk a bit about the aspect of nutrition. Okay. So nutrition plays a very key role in our general well-being. Generally, a healthy diet coupled with physical activity ensures that there's improved quality of life. And it also helps to maintain a healthy weight and helps to reduce one's risk of acquiring what we call non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cancers, etc. And I'm sure we'll all agree with the statement that says you are what you eat. Because basically what you eat is what forms or makes the makeup of your body. All right. So we want to look at the problem at hand currently in Ghana. There's been change in our diets and our eating habits due to globalization, urbanization, and then also the increase in purchasing power. Because we have the money to buy foods and we are traveling and we are moving from the rural areas into the urban areas, our diets have changed. And what has been observed is that the diets that we eat now are high in fats, in sugar, in salt. Basically, these three things are what we're doing. And there's been an increase in processed foods. Currently also, people tend to rely more on, let's say, fast foods, restaurants, buying convenience meals from supermarkets or street vendors, depending on, let's say, where you are on the socioeconomic ladder. And there's also been the increase of sedentary lifestyles. People are very sedentary in terms of very low physical activity. We are not moving more. Most people are driving. Everybody, or most of us, have desk jobs. We are sitting 8 to 5. We don't exercise much. So all these things are part of the problems that we have at hand with regards to nutrition. Now, some statistics from the FAO, that's the Food and Agriculture Organization. Sorry, I won't bore you with too much of that. But then it says that unhealthy diets combined with sedentary lifestyles have overtaken smoking as the world's #1 risk factor for disability and death worldwide. It also says that billions of people lack the nutrients that their bodies need to live an active and healthy life. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kill more people than hunger. And then an estimated $2 trillion is spent each year to treat health problems caused by obesity. Now, we know that with regards to Zero Hunger Ghana, the main aim is to achieve one of the targets of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 2, which is that by the year 2030, people should have all year-round access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. Mind you, 2030 is just 10 years away. So there's a lot to be done. And the purpose of this goal will not be achieved if our focus is only on safe and sufficient foods while we neglect the essence for nutritious foods. Coincidentally, this year's theme for World Food Day focuses on making healthy diets and sustainable diets accessible and affordable to everyone. And the essence of this is to shed more light on the importance of the quality of our meals and not the quantity. Because if you are having enough food and it's not balanced or it's not healthy, then I think you might as well not eat. Okay. And in Ghana, malnutrition presents itself in 3 forms. We have what we call undernutrition, which is stunting and wasting. And then we have overnutrition, which is overweight and obesity. And the third one is the lack of minerals or deficiency in minerals and vitamins. Unfortunately for us in Ghana, we have all the 3 being present. So it means that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And it's imperative that in our quest to achieve a zero hunger, we do not focus on addressing hunger alone and end up creating a world where people have access to food but are not well nourished. And basically when we talk about improving our nutrition or our diets, we would like to focus, or let's say it's summarized in these forms, in that we need to increase our intake of our vegetables. I know we've heard it over and over again, but it's actually very important. Increasing the intake of our vegetables, of our fruits, of our whole grains, the legumes, and then the nuts. Like I said earlier, a lot of us are moving away from that, and we are eating more processed foods and foods that are high in simple sugars. Okay. And then the last one is also to limit the intake of fats, with emphasis on saturated and trans fats. And then limit the intake of sugar and salt as well. Now, promoting healthy diets for a zero hunger world seems like a very daunting task. I mean, when you look at it, if you have just 10 years to be able to end or put an end to hunger, it seems like a very enormous task. But then it's achievable if we all put our collective efforts together. So as governments, as traditional rulers, as individuals, as celebrities, as the youth, as the media, what role can we all play to help support this, this great initiative? So it could be either by supporting through your donations or by making a pledge to eat healthier, by helping to, especially those who are influencers, by educating people about the importance of healthy eating. And then for those of us who are in food manufacturing, let's ensure that we label our foods so that people know what is in the product that they are buying. Let's ensure that we put our ingredients clearly and not mislead the public. And then also let's push for the availability of healthier food choices as well. If you're an employer, are you providing meals for your staff? What kind of meals are available? Are they healthy, or you're just providing them with anything just so that you can check that off your list?
As people in the hospitality industry, we know the pressure that comes with our work and the fact that we always look out for quality. We want to make sure that we ultimately satisfy the consumer or our clients. It becomes difficult to say that let me make time so that the excesses that comes as a result of my work, I connect it to those who don't have it. I want to tell you guys how I, as a chef, had to even branch into social entrepreneurship. As a young chef, back somewhere 2011, I used to work with Alisa Hotel on the Ring Road, and I come to work very early. You see, around the Alisa Hotel, there is this Nima overhead bridge. Most of the times, you see a lot of mentally challenged people under that bridge. They don't sit there for sitting sake, because there is someone who actually feeds them. And who is this man? This guy is also a mentally challenged man. So every morning, what this mentally challenged guy does is he goes around Nima overhead towards Osu. All the restaurant, hotels around that area, he goes into their garbage bins to pick all the leftover food from the restaurants, the hotels, the previous night. Usually we throw it into the bin. So every morning, this guy comes to our bin with small black rubber bags. He picks them, bag them into smaller bags, and then goes onto the street to feed his colleagues on the street. One morning, I met this guy, and I said, I can't fathom why someone considered a mentally challenged man to be feeding his colleagues on the street. So I asked him, I went to him, I said, "Na bra, I didn't know ya obesi senjani edikoma unyanomwo kwao." And you know his response to me. It was very simple. That response changed my life. That response actually was part of the things that led me to meet the Queen. Not because I'm so good or the best in cooking as a chef. What did he tell me? He told me, "Semanya wine." That was his response to me. And since then, I've never ever looked back on making sure that I don't just feed those who can pay for my service, but as well those who don't have the purchasing power. Food is a basic human right. Can you imagine a country of over 30 million, when you take 4 children out, one goes to bed hungry, and it's happening right beside us. It's happening right beside us. You know how our cultural settings is today, to the extent that today your neighbor will be in need of food, but because of not letting people know this, it feels if he comes to you today to ask the food, then tomorrow he will be out there. So there are people going hungry very closer to us. It is until you feel it you fall into that situation, then you get to. Recently, I used Dubai, and I met this gentleman. He was in one of these banks that collapsed recently, and all of a sudden, he lost his savings, everything. What to feed on was a challenge, and he was like, if I can get someone to provide just a small pack of food for me daily for the next 1 or 2 months, so that I can stand back on my feet. So that is the essence of what Zero Hunger says to address. And I'm in full support of what the seek to achieve. We need to support it. We need to support it. Thank you.
Like the name implies, community development. What is community development? It's one of the agencies under the social services in our country. We have social welfare, community development. So when it comes to community development, what we do is we segregate the community, do a proper profiling. We work with NGOs, individuals, philanthropists, people like institutions who wants to channel their social corporate responsibility to a particular area. When you come to the department, we are able to advise and direct where that resource is supposed to go, and if it should come to a particular community, how beneficial it's going to be. So when Zero Hunger, being my classmates, a childhood friend, and a good friend, of course, approached and said, Vicentia, and she's a very pathetic person. When she sees people by the roadside, she gets so sad. She says she wants to do something to help. And I say, if you want to do something to help, so far as I'm in the social service, and also the community in which I work, which is Jamestown, you've seen the pictures, and you see how happy the kids are by giving them food. She cannot do it alone. So what I do is, when she gets the donors coming, we have somebody's birthday, they want to give, even if it is 10 packs, we are able to give it to the child in their community that best need that food at that particular moment. So let's do it up for her. We don't want to talk much. We are here for a purpose. Zero Hunger. The communities are there. When you come to my community, we don't want to talk much. Jamestown, we are in Accra. People go to other villages. Come close. She's doing a marvelous work in Jamestown. We are helping to put Zero Hunger in 10 years. She can't do it alone. So as we go, the message is going across as to how best we can come back and think about how we can imply the very best practice. The nutrition has given us, we are eating. Do we know what we are eating? Are we eating the right food? No. Chef is here to teach the community members. We have the groups. We work with NGOs. We work with the people in the community. We have the labor. Chef is ready to come and teach the very groups we have in the communities in best practice. Some people drive all the way to Jamestown and buy kenke and fish. How is our kenke being prepared? Do you know how the kenke is being prepared before you take it on your final table? Chef is here to come as we increase people to know how to eat good food and also prepare good food. We are also going to stop and give people in their community the best food in our community.
I would like to welcome Debra, as we call her, Debbie. Think Mahogany, all of it. Charlie, your turn. Achisa.
First of all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody who came here today. I'm actually very surprised. I was expecting about 20, 30 people, and I have over 100 people here. So that goes to show that God is answering my prayers. I'm really honored to have you all here. So thank you very much. How did I even start Zero Hunger? So as you know, I'm an event planner, and I realized that a lot of times, a lot of food goes to waste after the event. There's a lot of leftovers, and what happens is the guests end up doing takeaway when they don't really need to, and then we have the staff packing food to take home when they've already eaten there. So I thought, instead of that happening, why don't we pack the leftover food from the weddings and engagements and parties and give it to those who are actually in need? And when I say leftover food, I'm not talking about food that you would not feed to your own kids. Good food. we take it and give them the experience, give them the opportunity to also enjoy what we are privileged to enjoy. So that's how it all started. And there's this lady called Fiona. She gave me the first opportunity to do this. So she called me and said, okay, I have leftovers, come for some. And that's how it started. And I needed volunteers to help me. So we started giving out food from events. And I thought food from events is not enough. Then I decided, how about I dedicate every single Sunday to giving out food to children in need. I've had people sponsor me with food. So some people's birthdays, they'll say, okay, it's my birthday, and I would like to give out food. I've had, again, leftovers from events. So every Sunday we give out food. Now, initially I thought, okay, I was just giving out leftover foods. But the more I did it, the more passionate I got about the whole thing. The more I was urged to do more. So I started expanding beyond giving out food. I started reaching out to people that could support me. I called my classmate, Vicentia, who used to sit next to me in class and trouble the heck out of me. 20 years later, we are still friends. So she works with AMA. So she said, you know what, I would mobilize the people for you every week, because she knows the poor communities. She knows where people are in dire need. She knows where I would make the best impact. So every week I give her the schedule, and then she finds the children and we go and give to them. Then I met Chef Elijah, who actually reached out to me on Instagram. And since I met him, he's been very, very supportive. Every time I needed advice or anything, he's there. And Renee, my very first job in Ghana, I was working at MedLab, and we were actually working together. Lost touch many years, and then she reached out to me again on Instagram, power of social media, and said, I'm a dietitian, I want to come on board. So she's also been very supportive. I have a whole group of volunteers, advocates, and some of my advocates. We have Soraya Mensah, there's Suzuza Catering, I have Leah's Kitchen, I have Nyonyo Foods. These ladies, and I have Villa Grace. These 4 people have been amazing. From when I said I wanted to do it, they never questioned me. They didn't ask me anything. They didn't even wonder if I really needed to do this. They said to me from jump, we will support you. And today, all the food you are eating came from them, full sponsorship. Then I have very supportive friends, Jocelyn Duma, who, as you saw in the video, on her birthday, we went out there and gave food to children and their mothers, the Kayayes. So I've had very supportive friends. My mother, very, very, very supportive, always pushing. Really, my vision is to have safe, healthy, and nutritious food for everybody. And my mission is working to ensure that people in Ghana have access to the safe, healthy, and nutritious food they need to achieve a zero-hunger world. We are actually narrowing down, like Renee said, we are narrowing down to SDG Goal 2. But what is it? Just giving people food every week or every day. So we are trying to expand beyond this press launch. We are trying to set up a whole outfit to do 6 things. So food donations, food waste management, food hygiene training. I would say that every time we go and donate food, Vicentia does a lot of sensitization to the community. And this sensitization is not just about food, general hygiene, child protection, how to dispose plastic waste properly, menstrual hygiene, because we're trying to eradicate menstrual poverty. And Jocelyn Duma is actually the brand ambassador for Kuju Cups. So giving out cups to girls in rural areas who skip school because of their periods. For self-dependence, again, Vicentia is doing fabulous work in the community. Out there, we have 10 guys who actually came today from Jamestown that Vicentia herself has been training, blessing them with skills, how to use their hands, make money for self-dependence. So basically, this started a year ago, and as today is World Food Day, I thought it would be best to launch today and also to create awareness that there is something that actually happens called World Food Day. So again, thank you very much for making time to come and spend the day with us.
Beautiful. Please let the applause be louder.
Hi, my name is Sharon from DGN. Who exactly are you targeting? Is it the underprivileged? Is it just the physically challenged? Children, the old and the poor? And also, how far are you willing to implement this initiative in relation to the SDG Goal 2? And how often are you going to be donating food to these children or to these people?
So when we go out to the streets, we have days we go to the children, we have days we mobilize for adults because they are all in the vulnerable bracket. For the number of years, it's 10 years. So she can't do it alone. We all have to help her achieve this goal. Thank you.
You don't have the money, you can't have access to food. And Zero Hunger seeks to take off the burden of money to ensure that beneficiaries have the right to food, because food is a basic human right.
My name is Linda Ususetre. I'm coming from the Department of Social Welfare and Community Development. I would like to know why you chose Zero Hunger as your project or initiative, and then why you chose that SDG, especially because there are lots of SDGs, 17 of them. Why did you choose that one?
Okay, I'll give you a brief answer now. I'll let Chef also speak. I mentioned that I'm an event planner. So as an event planner, I bring on board the caterers, the decorators, the photographers, videographers, DJ, MC, everybody to make the event happen. Because I'm a planner, I'm also a coordinator, so I'm making sure that everything is going on well. So when I go to the food buffet area, I realize that everybody has eaten, but there's a lot of food left. So then I see people, guests, telling waiters to come and pack food and bring back to them when they've already eaten. And most of the time, when they take this food home, they don't even eat it. They leave it in the fridge, forget about it, and throws it out. Or they go and give it to the dog. So I thought there are people who could actually eat this food. There are people who are out there that need this food. So that's what made me start donating food from my events. Then obviously, when I started doing it, I started doing a lot more research. I started reading about this thing. I started reading about health and safety, the environment within which this food is even cooked. Because I don't want to go and donate food to somebody, and then the next day I hear that they are sick, they have a runny stomach, and then they don't even have money to buy food, let alone to go to the hospital. So then I started doing more research, looking deep into this subject. And that's when I even stumbled upon the SDG Goal 2 and all of that. So I picked SDG Goal 2 from this thing that I started as just managing food waste at events. So then I started building on it. And I decided to name it Zero Hunger Ghana. Obviously, one, I wanted to name it about food. And then secondly, there was no other company or organization called Zero Hunger Ghana. There's Food for All Africa and other food NGOs. So I picked the name Zero Hunger Ghana because I thought that was the name that best suits what I wanted to do. And then I picked Goal 2 because it all started with me giving out food. And then you asked, how long do I want to do this for? I will do it for as long as I have the capability to do it. And again, I can't do it alone. I'm willing to do it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, retire, have my children also doing it if the need is there. Thank you.
The cost of hunger report, which was done by the National Development Planning Commission with some development partners, shows that Ghana is losing 4.6 billion Ghana cedis annually to hunger. And that's almost 6.4% of our GDP. So, and the thing, so if people are going hungry in Ghana, it doesn't mean it is an individual thing. No, it has its economic impact on our nation's productivity, which transcends into how successful we become as a country. If you take developed countries where their social systems are structured in ways that it supports the vulnerable, those who don't get access, afford money to buy food. They have social systems in place. Take America, for instance. Take Turkey. Recently, we were in South Africa, Cape Town, and they have a food bank there, which has been operating for the past 10 years. And it's surprising to know that within the area where the food bank is, once people get the food, they are encouraged to go look for work. Because there's a saying, an angry man is an angry man. The first thing to get someone productive is to make sure that the person is well fed. So that's it. And it will fascinate you. We have this amount of people in Ghana who are angry. But at the same time, we are wasting food. Not just the hotels and restaurants. I mean, I've always said that I believe the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative is an amazing one. However, we could have done it in such a way that what I usually call one constituency, one food bank. Because once we produce more, what happens to the SSs? We've been hearing, since this Planting for Food, I heard on radio, people from most of the public agencies saying that, look, we have produced so much under Planting for Food and Jobs, and we are even proud some is going waste. Is that the right? No. No. You see, because these SSS could easily be channeled to constituencies if they have food banks, if they have intervention programs like Zero Hunger, so that it can easily move to those who don't have the purchasing power. You get it? So that is what I believe in, that beyond Planting for Food and Jobs, we should have one constituency, one food support system. So usually, here we don't even dispose of our waste properly. So you throw off food into your dustbin. After some time, you realize there's this gaseous smell. It's actually methane gas. It forms. So if you don't dispose of your food properly, it goes through a cycle that creates methane gas. Methane gas destroys our ozone layer 5 times faster than carbon dioxide is contributing to climate change. So you should know you've not just wasted food, but it has economic and environmental implications as well. Thank you.
We have with us the Queen Mother of Adabraka. Now, this lady, she supports everything that I do. Mental health work, she's there. Breast cancer awareness, she's there. By the way, I'm a social entrepreneur. I support all causes. Breast cancer awareness, she's there. Then there's this event that I do every year called Jollof Rave. So this is the 3rd year. Last year, Jollof Rave, who was there? Nana. And she was the judge for the Jollof competition. So Nana of Adabraka, thank you very much for supporting us. On the 9th of November, we have Jollof Rave at Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park. It's a free event, free to enter, but then there'll be vendors selling jollof rice and drinks. We'll have DJs on rotation and all of that, live band. It's a really cool vibe. But what we are doing this year is Zero Hunger Ghana is bringing 500 children from the streets in Jamestown and from some of the orphanages. So we are bringing 500 children to Jollof Rave on the 9th of November, and we will dress them in T-shirts so that we can identify them from the other children. And when these children come, we want to give them the experience that you are fortunate to give your children when you take them to all these food festivals, these parties and activities. So Zero Hunger Ghana is putting together some money so that on Jollof Rave, we bring these 500 children to eat as much jollof rice as they like, to drink whatever sugary drink
that is there for them, to eat as much popcorn, cotton candy, to play on the bouncy castles, train ride, everything. We just want to give these 500 children the opportunity to have a good time at Jollof Rave. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are here, just raise up your hand. We are not mentioning, just pledge anything from your heart. Please, ripple effect is there. Please, hey, yeah, Pesika went in the hole. Measure, yes, sharp. So that we can all contribute properly to support this wonderful project.
My closing remarks, very, very, very short. So it starts with gratitude again for having you here. I'm truly grateful. And secondly, the media that are here, please, today is World Food Day. I want you to put out a strong message. You've listened to all of us, the dietitian, the chef, the community development officer, and myself, just a person like you, an entrepreneur who saw the need to help others in the community. So social impact, it doesn't take any special gift or talent. It's just a will. So I've taken on the journey, and who knows, I may eventually stop doing events and focus on this full time if I can afford to. I beg your pardon. So media guys, if you want to do interviews after, I'm available for further interviews, because I know that they've been sat in the heat for a little too long, so I want to let them go. But if you want to support the cause, kindly get in touch, and then let's see how best. I don't want this to end next week. I don't want this to end next month. I want your children to know, oh, that is anti-think Mahogany, or that is anti-zero hunger, so that they too will continue this after I'm gone. So thank you once again.
I want to say a big thank you. It's mostly unusual to have rains in October, but we're experiencing it. That's the effect of climate change. So I want to thank all of you for taking time off your busy schedule to come. You've not wasted time. You've seen the videos. You've heard us all. Any support that you want to give, you know where and how to contact us. We pray and the Lord will take us safely home, and all our activities shall come to a very successful end. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Okay, Debbie, top up with something.
Okay. So this one is just a special thank you. Somebody else was supposed to do it, but I can't find the person. So let me do it myself. So I have 20 main sponsors. So Often Security, who provided us with security today, and for Jollof Rave, they are giving us security and police because it's a public event. We have 33.19. He's helped us with all the logistics for this launch. We have Vital Water. I don't know, as soon as I put out the press launch, people were just calling, I want to give you this, I want to give you this. That's how God works. We have Mangoes, that's Lucky Lawson's restaurant. She called me, what do you want? I said, please, my people will need to eat. Oh, zero hunger, feed us. She brought us food. We have Tinsel, who's giving us all the chairs that you are sitting on. We have Abismart, local drinks. I have Nyonyo, food, Leah's Kitchen, food, Sezuza Catering. I have Villa Grace, also a caterer. I have Sezuza Farms, I've mentioned. Please, I have Obrimpon, the MC, who is doing this for me for free. Randa Cakes, that's giving us cupcakes. So when you're leaving, please pick a cupcake. It has Zero Hunger logo on top of it. We have Fiona's Foods, who is also giving us food. Then I have Mama Jollof. Mama Jollof, she's a mascot. So Mama Jollof, what she does is every Sunday, she's the one who gives out jollof rice to the children.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for a successful meeting. We thank you for bringing everyone here and then making them attentive to listen to the projects we have ahead at Zero Hunger. We thank you for making everyone honor whatever they pledge to support this launch and make it a success. As we are about to leave, oh God, guide and protect us and send us to our home safely. Amen.
Amen. So thank you very much.